Time for munching and mating. In the Macrocystis, or giant kelp, with your host, Dr. Bill Bushing. Yes, it's time once again for you, my viewers, to dive dry with Dr. Bill. No cold water or wetsuit required. However, I sure wish they'd heat the pool for me. It's getting cold down here. Today we are going to look at the shark most commonly encountered by divers in Southern California waters, the horn shark. Come join me. The horn shark, Heterodontus francisi, This young shark appears to be skip breathing, something divers are taught never to do. The rate of breathing may vary due to changes in the environment, such as perceived threats or possibly temperature change. These solitary fish tend to be inactive during the day, usually resting in crevices and caves in rocky reefs, often with their heads hidden. Perhaps they are the ostriches of the marine world. I guess they just don't want to see what's coming. Adults appear to return to the same resting areas each morning, and thereby exhibit strong sight fidelity. Their home ranges tend to be small, comparable to the size of an Olympic swimming pool, according to one source. Horn sharks are relatively inefficient swimmers and use their broad pectoral and pelvic fins to move over the bottom. Their sluggish, sometimes awkward movements led one writer to refer to them as having an endearing clumsiness. Horn sharks come out at night to feed. Experiments have shown these sharks will bite electrodes, which give off the same frequency as the muscle movements of potential prey. This suggests that they may rely on their electrosensory capabilities to locate food. The diet of the adults consists primarily of mollusks, such as snails and squid, crustaceans like crabs and shrimp, as well as echinoderms, including sea urchins and starfish. Red sea urchins are a favorite, and horn sharks feeding largely on them develop red-stained teeth. Of course, I didn't realize that some individuals like to sip on black cherry soda when they are resting in caves and crevices during the day. Horn sharks will also capture small fish, including blacksmith, which they may suck up as the damselfish shelter in the rocks at night. These sharks prefer to rest on the bottom and wait for their prey to pass by, but will also search for and pursue it. The juveniles feed on polychaete worms, small clams, sea anemones, squid, and very small fish. They have been observed biting the tentacles off anemones in the intertidal. The teeth of these sharks take two different forms. As mentioned previously, their genus name Heterodontus means different teeth. There are conical teeth in front, which are used for grasping prey. Towards the rear are molar-like teeth used for crushing their food, especially those with hard shells like snails. The crushed shells are later regurgitated. Various reports give contradictory information about their sexual maturity. Some state male horn sharks mature at 21 to 24 inches, and females at about 23 inches. while others say 23 to 28 inches and 28 to 33 inches respectively. In the latter case, the age of maturity is given as 7 to 8 years for males and 8 to 11 years for females. These sharks mate in December and January. The male chases after the female until she is ready. Both drop to the bottom, where the male grasps the female's pectoral fin in his mouth. He then inserts one of his claspers, with mating lasting 30 to 40 minutes. You can see 2 tiny claspers on the underside of this young male. And larger ones on this adult resting in a crevice. Females are said to spin over and over with their noses in the sand for about an hour after mating. A few weeks later, the female lays her eggs, usually among the rocks on reefs. The horn shark is one of the few egg-laying species of shark in our region. The shape of the eggs allows the mother to wedge them in between the rocks. The 5 turns of the 2 spiral processes, or flanges along the egg's outer surface, assist in keeping them in place. The eggs are not released in mid-water to spiral down to the bottom, as some authors have suggested. Females are said to lay 2 eggs every 11 to 14 days, from February to April. These eggs are carefully placed into crevices and holes where they may be safe, but may also dislodge and be seen out in the open. "Gary, what are you doing to that egg? Leave it alone. I'm trying to film." The female may deposit a total of 24 eggs each breeding season, mostly in water shallower than 40 feet. Some scientists have observed differences in the shape and structure of the egg cases between mainland and Channel Islands horn shark populations. The young develop thanks to nourishment from the egg yolk sac. The pups hatch within 6 to 10 months, depending on the water temperature, and are 6 to 7 inches long when newborn. Young juveniles often frequent sandy bottoms, where there is little vertical relief, unlike the habitat of the adults. Here they are out in the open, and relatively unprotected except by their spines. However, kelp and other algal debris, as well as living plants, do offer some hiding places. The young are frequently found in bat ray feeding pits, which provide them some shelter. Based on my observations, dark saddles and blotches are more common on the younger sharks than on mature individuals. These may serve as camouflage and help to break up the shape of the body, so potential predators can't find them as easily. The growth rates of horn sharks are slow and quite variable. Therefore, size does not seem to correlate well with age, and is more likely related to food availability. There appear to be significant differences in depth distribution during the various stages in their life history. When they reach 14 to 19 inches in length, the young sharks tend to frequent deeper water between 130 and 500 feet. As they mature, they migrate back into shallower water. It is believed this segregation of habitat based on age limits competition between the young and the adult sharks. These fish do well in captivity and are an important species for some kinds of scientific research. They are often caught by commercial fishers in lobster and crab traps, gill nets, and trawls. Here you see one in a lobster trap near Church Rock on Catalina's windward side. However, these sharks have no real commercial value. Angel sharks have been observed to swallow juvenile horn sharks and immediately release them, suggesting the spines are indeed a good defense. Elephant seals seem to have better luck, feeding on the newborns and juveniles. Here off Catalina, bald eagles have been seen taking them from shallow waters. Predatory snails, including kellet whelks, are known to use their scraping radula to break into the egg cases and feed off the yolks. Although generally unaggressive, these sharks may bite when provoked. I once tried to reposition a small horn shark to get better video footage of it. It reacted by swimming up to my chest and attempting to bite me through my 7mm wetsuit. I laughed so hard, I dropped the regulator out of my mouth at this, my first ever shark attack. However, caution should be exercised due to the sharp spines, which can cause a painful puncture to those who attempt to pick them up. Stay tuned for future episodes on the sharks and rays of Southern California.